increase the volume from your end. Okay. So, first of all, this is the master class where we'll discuss a lot of things. And before that, I'd like to discuss that basically who am I? Okay. My name is Aman Agarwal. I've been doing swing trading for almost 4 years now, and I have also started creating content. I'm a full-time swing trader. Okay. And with that, I am an NSM research analyst as well. I have 100,000 plus community over social media platforms like YouTube, Instagram, okay, and Telegram. 4 years plus building and have refined one complete framework that won't get anywhere. And that is basically inspired from two people, that is Mark Minervini and Stan Winstein. Mark Minervini's VCP pattern and Stan Winstein's stage analysis. And some more concepts are included by me. Okay. So that we'll discuss about today. What is the concept, how we will go. And first, we will discuss about some basics, that is moving averages, support and resistances, candlesticks, and then we'll go deep dive into the advanced. And that will be a 1.5 hour session, 1.5 hour session. So 1.5 घंटे का सेशन होगा, 1 1.5 घंटे का. तो विल डिस्कस अकॉर्डिंग दैट आई यूज बोथ द लैंग्वेजेस, इंग्लिश और हिंदी दोनों. ठीक है. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, व्हाट यू विल वर्क अवे विद टुडे. ठीक है. तो वी विल वर्क अवे विद हाउ टू रीड. ओके, विच सेक्टर्स आर एक्चुअली स्ट्रॉन्ग. जैसे सेक्टर्स यानी इज द आईटी सेक्टर स्ट्रॉन्ग, कि पीएसयू बैंक स्ट्रॉन्ग है. ठीक है. एंड हम वो भी देखेंगे कि हमें कौन से अवॉइड करने हैं. ओके. तो एंड उसके बाद वील सी टू चार्ट्स पुराने, जो बीसीपी और स्टेज एनालिसिस के साथ देखेंगे. एंड वी रीड कि एक्चुअली होता क्या है बीसीपी एंड स्टेज एनालिसिस. हम देखेंगे कि आप अपनी पोजीशन साइज को कैसे कंट्रोल कर सकते हो. एंड आई गिव यू फ्री पोजीशन साइज एज वेल. ठीक है. पोजीशन साइज भी आई गिव इट टू यू, कि हाउ यू कैन position your sizing, and how much to put where. Okay. And the mindset and psychology, we'll read that. So I think I'll teach both in English and Hindi, so it will be better for everyone. No worries. Okay. First of all, what is swing trading? Okay. So basically, swing trading means that holding a stock for a few days to a few weeks to capture one strong swing in price. That means if the for example, if there's a pattern, the prices doesn't always go like this, or they doesn't go like this, or they doesn't go like this. Okay, so this is not a part of a momentum. Thus, the prices will you'll always see the prices go like up, down, up, down. Okay, so you'll not see any time the prices go just they are just going in a upward momentum. Okay, they'll have some corrections, and they are the best corrections where we add. Okay, so we'll talk about that in the end, because उसके बारे में बाद में हम बात करेंगे. ठीक है. एंड हम बेसिकली हमें कोई पूरा मूव नहीं कैच करना है, दैट हमें कोई 5 रुपए का स्टॉक से सीधा 500 रुपए का स्टॉक, वो लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए होता है. वी विल नॉट डू दैट. ओके. सो एंड वी विल एंटर, वी ट्राई टू एंटर नियर द स्टार्ट एंड वी ट्राई टू एग्जिट जब स्टेज 2 खत्म हो जाता है. तो दैट इज बेसिकली a period of time that can be 1 month, that can be 2 months, that can be 3 4 months, but maximum 3 to 4 months we hold a stock. ठीक है. उससे ज्यादा we don't usually, बिकॉज इतने में मोमेंटम खत्म हो जाता है, शॉर्ट मोमेंटम. इट गेट्स ओवर. ओके. Basically the decisions we made are not in the market hours. Okay. We calculate our decisions, our risk and our reward, everything after the market hours, that is basically रात में. ठीक है. तो रात में या फिर शाम को या फिर बिफोर द नेक्स्ट डे, दैट इज द मॉर्निंग बिफोर द मार्केट ओपन्स. बिकॉज अगर आप सारी चीजें एनालाइज कर रहे हो व्हेन एवर द मार्केट इज ओपन, so you'll have a lot of difficulty, because you'll be confused and just ruin your psychology. Okay. So who is it for basically? If you are doing a job or a business and you don't have time, you have to take out just 20 to 50 minutes a day in the live markets, and 20 to 50 minutes or 1 hour a day when you learn everything in post markets. Okay, in either the morning before the trading happens, before the market opens, or in the evening or in the night. Okay, and students and beginners can absolutely learn this, because they have a lot of time. Okay. So anyone wanting active returns without day trading stress, day trading is basically when you have to sit over the market. Okay. And traders are tired of tips who want their own system because tips usually take them from 100 to 0 or sometimes 0 to 100. But they usually take them to 100 to 0 and you'll get a lot of problems at that time. Okay, because no one would be responsible for that, and you would just blame that the markets are not well, the markets are down, and the markets ruined you, and that is just waste what you are saying. Okay, that is not the best thing and the best approach to trading. Okay, so first we'll go on the basics, that is candlesticks, EMAs, and support and resistances, and after that we'll talk about sectoral analysis, VC patterns, that is the advanced. Okay, and I'll give you the rough idea for everything because I can't give you obviously everything at once, right? So let's talk about some quick basics, that what is a candlestick? Okay, so if you see a candlestick in any chart, first of all, this kind of candlestick you will see usually. Okay, and I think everyone knows that this is a shadow. Okay, we call it a shadow, and with shadow, this is a candle, and this is a shadow. There's a lower one. This is the upper one. This is what we call the candle's body. Okay. And so this is basically a candlestick. Each candle shows the price story for one period. Basically एक candle होती है वो 1 day की होती है, 1 week की होती है, and everything. Okay. So 1 hour की भी हो सकती है, वो हम बाद में डिस्कस करेंगे. ग्रीन कैंडल क्या होती है? जब एक ओपन होता है, इन द ग्रीन कैंडल द ओपन इज हेयर एंड द क्लोज इज ओवर हेयर. इन द रेड कैंडल व्हाट हैपेंस? द ओपन इज हेयर एंड द क्लोज इज ओवर. So if you read this and we go on the next slide, that is candlestick chart, we know that the green candle, you can read that where is the open, where is the close. Okay. So in the red candle, the open is above and the close is on the lower side. Uh, and this lower week means that basically the price has moved till this point. For example, this is 5, this is 10, and this is 3, and this is 12. That means the price has moved till 12, but the price has then come back to 10. The sellers have pushed them from 12 to 10, and the prices were pushed from 3 to 5 as well. Okay, so this is basically what we call candles. Okay, so next is moving averages. Okay, moving averages are generally something which is a smooth line, okay, which basically identifies a trend, either a short-term trend, either a long-term trend. That also depends on the trend time frames. For example, a weekly trend is identified by a weekly moving average. A 5-minute trend is identified by a 5-minute moving average. Okay, so you choose the time frame, it automatically adjusts to that, and you'll get all the links which I will drop after this on the Telegram as well. I'll post this PDF and you'll get every link in this PDF. Okay. So EMAs are basically exponential moving average, the average price over a period drawn as a smooth line. So basically, for example, this is a candle. These are the candlesticks, and the EMA is the average of it. For example, it is a 10 EMA. That means whatever the last 10 candles will be, the average will come out and it will be a smoothing line. It will be present in a smoothing line. Okay. So we usually track 10, 20, 50, and 200 EMAs, not the 200 EMAs, but for the stage analysis, we have to track the 250 EMAs. And price above rising EMA is always an uptrend. It is in a healthy. And if the price is falling and the EMAs are falling, for example, the EMAs are going in the upwards direction, okay, that means it is in an upward position. If the EMAs are going in a downwards direction, that means it is in a downwards position. Okay. So EMA also acts a dynamic support and resistance because institutions basically don't trade much on VWAP or RSI or many things. They trade using the smoothing lines, that is EMAs. So this is basically an institutional tracker as well. And with that, moving averages acts as a very strong indicator and is one of the best indicator which you can use. Okay, so it looks something like this. If you go in any, I am on the Nifty 100 chart. If you see, this blue line is the 10 EMA. Okay, and you can see for the past some days, the Nifty has rallied and Nifty has given some 2.5 to 3% returns. And you see that over here, when it was falling, the EMAs were falling. This blue one is the 10, this red one is the 20, and this purple is the 50 EMA one. So that means that whenever it is falling, whenever it was falling, it fell by more than 2 to 3%. It fell by more than 2 to 3%. Then it went down below 50 EMA as well. And when it rose up, okay, it rose up till here. It clearly the EMAs were below that, below the price, and the EMA started to rise. So you can see that basically tells us a short term rising. This does not tell in the indexes like Nifty 50 and Nifty 100. But जब आप stocks पे आते हो, when you'll come to the stocks, you'll get to know that this actually works, and you'll see that तो 10 EMA के ऊपर है, तो वो 10 EMA से सपोर्ट भी देगा. ठीक है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ आई गो टू एनी चार्ट, ओके, ठीक है, दैट इज बेसिकली रिस्पेक्टिंग, if I go to Ether only and on the weekly, okay, so you see that it is respecting on the 10 EMA. For example, from over here, it has gone till here and then tried to come down, but from the 10 EMA, that is this blue line, it has respected this blue line and then went back up again. Okay, so it has basically respected blue line from over here. So it is acting as a support. We'll talk about support just after this. Support and resistances. That is basically basic three. Okay. Quick basic. This is support and resistances. होते क्या है? ठीक है. For example, support is a price where buyers step in and price tend to bounce up. So एक we call support को floor भी कहते हैं. ठीक है. A price floor. That means कि for example there was a chocolate of a price 100 rupees. ठीक है. 100 rupees में supply was less and the demand was less and the supply was more. Okay, that means the sellers were active ज्यादा उधर. And जब उसका price नीचे आया on 80 rupees, demand started to come in because buyers were thinking that it is cheap. Okay, whether whatever was the reason, and the reasons we'll discuss आगे. तो 80 रुपए पे आया तो people were thinking that it is cheap, तो demand started to came in, and then वो 80 रुपए से नीचे नहीं आया, and so the demand started to kick in, and the supply went low. So वो प्राइस वहां से ऊपर ऊपर जाने लगा. एंड सेम अगर हम ऑल्टरनेट बात करें, on the contrary side, it is resistance, a price zone where sellers step in and price tends to stall. That is a ceiling. जैसे कि 80 रुपए से वापस 100 रुपए गया, तो पहले 100 रुपए से सप्लाई ज्यादा हुई थी, तो अगेन वो जब 100 रुपीज पे गया तो इट वॉज डिफिकल्ट फॉर बायर्स टू हैव अ डिमांड, एंड वहां पे सप्लाई स्टार्टेड टू किक इन एंड द सेलर्स ब्रॉट इट डाउन बैक टू 90 or 80, whatever it is. Okay, the more times the level is tested, the more important it is. Broken resistance often becomes new support. Okay, buy near the support, watch for breakouts above the resistance. That is our basically strategy in one line. Okay, so this is basically what we call a support and resistance. If you call this as a support, that means prices came over here, prices started to move from over here, then it went down and again then had a bounce back from support. Then it made a new resistance, that is basically a strong sell. This is also resistance, but this was now broken by these levels. So this became a strong low because the buying pressure was more over here and it broke this high. Okay, it broke the previous high. This was a resistance before, right? Because the prices fell back from over here, and then when the buying pressure was more, it broke this resistance and then made a new resistance. It went down from the same support, so it became a strong low. So from the same support, it went back to the resistance. Okay, because this was a very strong resistance, it went back to support and then it rallied. Okay, and then when it rallied, this resistance becomes the new support. Okay, why? Because over here the selling pressure was more than buying pressure, but as we cross this level, the buying pressure here was more than this selling pressure. Okay, so this acted as a very strong support level because over here the buying pressure was much more than the selling pressure, and then the cycle repeats, the resistance become the support, and now it is going up, made a new resistance, coming back to the support, new resistance. And what if it fell down by like this, not going up and fell down like this? What will happen? This support will become to a resistance. Why? Because this demand zone, this over here, the buying pressure was more. But now suddenly when the prices went down, the supply has been more. Okay. Because the 10 EMA we usually use because it is one of the key EMAs, not the 9-1. It is used in the 921 strategy, and we don't usually follow that. So that's why we just use 10, 20, and 50. Okay. Yep. Underlying funda is always the same. We use 10, 20, 50 for the best strategy. 9, 21 we don't usually use. Okay. Okay. So basically everyone got a idea about moving averages, candlesticks, and support and resistances. So we can move further. Everyone if got the idea of it or any questions, or I'll take 1 to 2 questions before going further. Why 10, 20, and 50 EMAs? So basically 10 EMAs we use for the short-term resistance, and then 20 EMAs. These EMAs, if you see, acts as the best support and resistance, and every institution use these. Take one stock and explain. Okay. So if you see Ether Energy only, we have discussed we are on the weekly time frame. If you see on the 10 moving average, yes, 9, 21, 63 are well always there, but my strategy has always been the 10, 20, and 50. I don't want it to be advanced, and for me also to have a problem. And the 10, 20, 50 is very easy to use, okay, and it is already in all the indicators. And if you see on the weekly time frame, a 10 moving average, it is taking a support from over here, okay, and then when we go back down to 20 moving average, the 10 EMA has been sloping downwards. We go back to the 20 moving average, and then 20 moving average acts as a support. So if you see about the Ether Energy, it has never been below 20 EMA. So it is a very strong stock, which is always respecting its 10 EMA and 20 EMA. And when there was a breakout on the weekly time frame, it is always respecting its 10 EMA. The time frame, I'll suggest everyone for have two weekly and monthly SE trend time frame to see the trend time frame. On the daily, they should make a setup, and on the 1 hourly or 15 minutes, they should enter. Okay. So how to apply these EMAs? I'll drop the link to these EMAs indicator on the Telegram. So not a worry. On which time frame these should be used? These indicators should be used on every time frames. You can use those on daily, weekly, 15 minutes, 1 hourly, and that depends according to them, according to the indicators and how your strategy is. We'll discuss about the strategies by the end. There's not a worry. R volume and everything we'll discuss about. R volume basically means, for example, the average volume is 100%. So on the last day, our volume was 83%. Okay. Name of the volume indicator is pocket, simple volume by pocket pivots. Okay. I can't repeat one again. So you'll have the recording. You can watch that. Okay. For example, now we'll study that why most traders lose. Okay, so I have I think over 189 people over here, 180 people over here, and I'll tell you why most of the people are not able to generate consistent returns. I think you might be generating returns for the last 10, largely for last 1 month or last 2 months or last 3 months maybe. But over the years, if you look at it over the years in a 3 year or a 5 year period, then you'll have to make consistent returns because, for example, you have 10 lakh rupees right now and you are making 12 lakhs out of it on 3 months, and you are saying that you have made 20% returns in the 3 months. That is not the case, and that is not how your psychology should be. Your psychology should be over a cycle that is a year. Okay, so you should see that over a year how it has performed and how have you performed that. And did you use the strategy? Did was your discipline good over the and were you consistent over the period of a time? And that will make you a long-term consistent trader because I also want that you should trade for next 20, 30 years and not just 1 or 2 years and make some returns. Okay. And most traders have a problem as well, that what they will do, that they will just chase tips and don't want to understand anything, and they won't have a system. They just will buy according to people posting on Twitter, posting on Insta, posting on Telegram, and not have a random decision. Okay, they'll enter on emotion that, for example, I have bought on 100 and I have signaled on 100, and then they see the stock price go to 106, and they be knowing that I have made already 6% returns, and then they'll enter at 106. So that will be a very much problem for that person, and then the prices will go back to 105, and they'll just blame the market, okay, that the market is just eating them, and that's the main problem for them. Okay, without any risk calculation, they don't know exactly, a lot of people don't know exactly what risk is. For example, people don't usually use stop loss, and when they now enter on 106, the prices go back to 90, and then they just imagine seeing their portfolio down 11-15%, and just waiting for them, and they are just waiting for the stock to go up, and they just put all the prices, put all the amount of them. For example, they have a 10 lakh capital, they put 9 lakhs in that trade, and then just expect it to go up and reach 200. So that is basically a wrong psychology, and one should not follow that psychology. That will just wipe out your trade one day. For example, you have made 20% returns in last 3 months, it can just ruin your 20% returns in one trade. Okay. Yeah, a lot of people quit right before it starts even working. And what people do, I'll tell you that happened to me as well. What people basically do, for example, they have started trading. For the first 2 months, there was a beginner luck, and they made 15% returns. Okay. And then, for example, a bad market area have come, and their strategy stopped working for a while, for 1 or 2 weeks, or maybe some 3 or 4 stop losses they have hit. Okay. And some out of them 3 or 4 stop losses, they just imagine that this strategy is not working, or trading is not for them. That is the wrong psychology, and that makes you inconsistent. Okay. So these are some things why most traders lose. Okay. I think for whatever capital it is, either 50 lakh or 10 lakh, you should not take more than 7 to 8 trades. Okay. If you are one person who have done this mistake, how to shift that? Okay, first of all, tips don't chase on tips. Okay, they make you dependent. Okay, a system makes you independent. Okay, so if you will have a system, you'll have a lot of practices that makes you independent, because what will you do with 15 to 20% returns a year? Only tips can make you only 15 to 20% a year, not more than that. I'm here to teach you how to make more than 100% returns a year. Okay. A system means same rules every trade and every time. One strategy every trade, every time. You can use 2 to 3 strategies as well, but same rules every trade and every time. You should be consistent. Okay. You should know whatever your entry is, whatever your stop loss is, whatever you have sized. And before you click that buy button, you should know all the mathematical calculations before you do that. Okay. What happens? Losses will become small. Okay. And the worst possibility, if even your stop gets hit, you know how much will you lose. For example, if the risk is 1.5% of your total capital, and you have a capital of 1 lakh, you'll lose 1500. That's the worst possibility that will happen. And the best possibility what it can be, that your 1 lakh changes to 1,20,000. And that is basically what we calculate as, and what we name as a reward. Okay. So the big picture, the top down approach, basically what is top down approach? Okay. Mostly traders do what? Okay, mostly traders only just look at the stock, and that is backwards. Okay, you have a strategy, but that is backwards. 70% of a stocks move, I'll tell you where, come from where it come from the market. The 30 to 40% moves come from the market, and the 40-50% moves come from the sector. And that is the most, a lot of people over here doesn't even know the stock they are buying, which sector it does it belong to. Okay. Which sector does it belong to? For example, you're taking Talbro Auto. You don't know what sector it is belong to. You are taking Aether Energy. You're taking Cupid. You don't know what sector it exactly belongs to, and how that sector has moved in the past 2 months. If you don't follow the strategy, I can guarantee you that you won't be profitable after trading for a year. Okay. And this is what is the core we are talking in this session. We will talk mostly about sectoral analysis in the next 1 hour. Okay. And get the top right and the stock selections becomes easy. What does that mean? That before even analyzing that what stocks are we going to trade next week, we first should analyze that what sectors are we looking for the next week. And you should have a strict rule that okay, you if you have analyzed 20 sectors, 21, 22 industries, 22 sectors there are overall, and out of the 22 sectors, you have 4 to 5 sectors in mind, and then you don't have to trade any stock out of that 22 sectors. And that strategy made me in this falling market in the last 3 months 100% plus returns. And I've shared all the stocks which I have made returns with in the last 3 months on Telegram. Okay, so if you were in my Telegram, you know how we made it. Okay. So the next thing is basically today's roadmap. It was just a start, it was just basics. In the next 1 hour or 1.5 hours, maybe whatever time it will take, we will cover through that. And I want you to sit through whole the session. Okay. So this is basically first of all, we learn how to read exactly that how's the overall market and breadth is looking at right now. Okay. Then we look at some sectoral analysis. That is basically the core thing. Okay, which is of today's class. The sectoral analysis is the main thing I want to teach you guys. The VCP, I'll give you the some basics of VCP, some 6, 7 checklist of VCP, and then a stage analysis. That there will be a pointer checklist, and then we'll talk about some risk and position sizing. Okay, that how do we calculate risk and position sizing, and with that, I'll try to improve your trading psychology with some 5 or 6 points. Okay, and then we'll have some live Q&A. Okay, and we'll do all these things. Okay, Sai Krishna, how do we know which sectors grow next week? We'll analyze that. No worries. A special surprise for everyone who stays till the end. There's a special surprise for everyone. So I think it's your decision only if you want to wait. If anyone has any questions before that, I'll include that in the session. Drop them off, and we'll then start by reading the overall market. How to check footprints of big money or smart money entry in a stock? That is basically volume we talk about. Okay, so I have made a poll. That is how many people do sectoral analysis, and I think that is on your page. Do tell me that how many people do that. Okay, okay. Mhm. Okay, so we have 115 votes, and out of that, 79 people have said, almost 68, 70% people have said that they will start. Okay, and some 33% do, people already do. So I would like to know that how do you guys do? sectoral analysis right now. I would like to know that how do you basically approach that thing, and I'll then correct you, then help you with that whatever is wrong. Okay, I'll end the poll just now. Okay, RRG graph. That's a very good, nice approach by checking the chart of the sector. Okay, sector heat map. Not the best approach, but okay. Okay. So over here, now let's first start that how do we read the overall markets? Okay, by scanning my Tijori website. Okay, that is good. क्या by scanning my stock universe and dashboard? Okay. हाँ मैं हिंदी में भी I'll talk. Not okay. 4 quarters. Okay, what chart of each sector में? ठीक है. Okay. We'll talk both in Hindi and English. We usually talk in English, but ठीक है. That's basic. Chart of each sector and watch how many stock of that particular sector is above 50 MA. Okay, that's nice approach. Okay. So let's first read that reading. How do we read the overall market? For example, is even the overall market healthy for you to invest that money, that hard-earned money what you have earned? Okay. So we'll see that before any stock, ask is the market rally on your side? Is really the market is performing? Trend is the how do you identify overall trend? Okay, we have seen is the index above or below its key moving averages like 20, 50 MA, DMA, SMA, EMA, everything is the same. Okay, so ask yourself that is the index even above or below its key moving averages? Direction, how do you identify the direction? Is it from, is it higher highs or higher lows or in an actual uptrend, or it is on the opposite? Okay, and what is your job in this? You have to be aggressive in uptrends and defensive in some downtrends. In the last 3 months, I have been a little defensive, and if I have been aggressive and the markets were rallying, I would have made uh, I have made 100% returns, but then I would have made, I think, 150, 160% returns. Okay, so you don't have to fight with the market because the markets are always supreme and they will be above you always, and you have to respect that and you have to trade with it. Okay, not respecting the markets will always lead you to losses, so respect the markets first, respect what you are in, and then you should have a psychology to trade. Okay, now Nifty. Okay, so if you see, this is basically, I think, 2024 or 2025, I think 2022 chart. 100% capital in our entire tradable capital, no, never 100% capital on one trade. Okay, so you see over here that in this period, index above all key EMAs sloping upwards, be aggressive here. Okay, so basically you see that if you have found till here, it is respecting 10 EMA and it is aggressive, you have to be aggressive from this period. Okay, this period can give you mostly 30 to 40% returns, and this one can ruin that 5 to 10%, and you have to be aware that whatever is happening, you have to be aware on these candles, on these candles. Okay, I'll share the EMA indicator. No worries, don't worry. And index above all came is sloping upwards. So if we see the market conditions right now, however they are looking, if you just go to Nifty 50, basically, we know that the markets has been consolidating for a lot of time. Okay, and then it went down. It then reversed from a very strong low. And if we see again from these levels, this resistance, if we see that it has been respected, and I think the resistance, the stocks prices after the CAS has been applied, the prices are been floating on these levels, and when we see a strong breakout from these levels, I think we can expect a bull run till these highs as well, whatever the new highs are. So marking pivot points is a very strong thing, and I think everyone should go with marking pivot points always. Okay, so basically, get a use to mark those pivot points. Your watch is also can. Yes, I will drop my watch list, but it is. I'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. No worries. So we see that the market is right now above 10, 20 EMAs. Okay, it is above 10, it is above 20, and it is above 50. Okay, so that is how we identify. And is there a chart for that? If you'll say, okay. Uh, Mm. So we go on the next slide. We see the market breadth with live example. Okay. So we see what the index can rise while most stocks fall. Okay. Breadth tells you the truth. How many stocks are above their 50 and 20 DMA? Okay. I've written 200 wrong. They're basically trading above their 50 and 20 DMA. We have to see the advanced decline ratio. How many stocks are rising versus how many stocks are falling. We have to see the new highs. How many stocks are making those new highs? How many stocks are making new lows. Strong breath is always that trade with confidence, have some more capital in it. So this is the link for that. We'll just open that. Okay. And before that, we'll learn how to basically track that. Okay. So this is the current chart for 7th August. That is basically last day. You'll get this link. Okay. In this. And we see that above 20 DMA, we have 1382 stocks. Okay, so you take a screenshot of this. This is very important for everyone. We see that less than 400 stocks above 20 MA, whenever there is something like this, you don't have to chase breakouts because the breakouts are unhealthy at that point. Okay, less than 400 stocks above 20 DMA, it is unhealthy. Above 20 DMA, it is right now 1382. That's the best strat, and this is the bestest, healthiest market you can get. Okay. 1000 to 1600, a good trade zone, chase fresh breakout with strong sectors with aggressive risk. This will give you much more returns. Okay. And you see the advanced decline ratio, the new high low, new low ratio. On the last day, the advancing was less, the declining was more. So, normal thing, you just have to look through it. Okay. And you just click on this, go over here, and then go on the market breadth. You look at it above 20 DMA, okay, 1382. And when you go through this link and you'll go through stocks above 20 DMA, that is this one. Okay. You see that sometimes the stock, the if you look at it above 20 DMA, it was 223. Okay, it was 236. It was 300. So you don't have to trade at these times. In the March only, you see the stocks were very less, which was above 20 EMA. So this will only ruin you. Only 300. Imagine just 300 out of 2 to 3,000 stocks were only above 20 EMA. That means the whole market was falling. And whenever this is operating bound, whenever the index is above the operating bound, try to risk more. And whenever it is down, have a less risk. Okay. So that's the best approach to that. Okay. So uh, I will give you the link for this. Basically, I'll share the PDF so you'll have the link. Okay. And okay, so this is sectoral analysis. We are going to, everyone tell me, have they understood basically how to identify market breadth and should you trade? You'll get the recordings for this, so no worries. Yes, for the market bet, 20 EMA should be seen. Okay, so I'll just tell you again. For the market bet, for example, is the market breadth. You go to above 20 DMA and you see that okay, on 7th August, 1300 stocks. On the last week, if you see all 5 days, 1300 to 1400 stocks were above 20 DMA. So that is basically what is healthy for the markets. I just told you guys that 4,000 to 400 to 1,000 stocks above 20 EMA is riskless and trade strong stocks only. And 1,000 to 1,600, a very good trade zone and chase fresh breakouts with strong sectors with aggressive risk over there. Okay. So this is the details only. Not we don't have to focus on this much. Just focus on this once a week on Saturdays, and that is what we are doing today. Okay? So sectoral analysis, everyone should be start with sectoral analysis. We are going to check two methods, that is the manual method, and we are going to go with another that is basically the edge. Okay, which I'll give you a very strong indicator, a very bonus indicator in this session, and I will talk about one too. Sometimes price takes support from EMA, but sometimes it doesn't. How to make this decision? In the Nifty chart, you showed 2 times it took support. Okay, so you don't have to look through the 10, 20 EMAs on the Nifty chart about the support and resistances because on the Nifty, it is the index, the volumes are much larger, so you can't basically track on the EMAs. This will be seen on the if you go on the any stock, then you'll be easy with identifying that. Okay. Okay, so in this, if I tell you the volume, what is it? Okay, so if I come and any stock, if I select the blue volume means that there was high volumes this day. This gray means that there was very less volumes, and the red means that there was a red day with large volumes. Okay, so this is basically very simple, and when I'll share you the indicator link, you'll have everything through that. So no worries. Okay, so we will. Now, on sectoral analysis, how we can apply? Okay, I'll share that. I'll share everything after the meeting. So no, don't worry about that. Okay. So okay, how do we do sectoral analysis? The manual method is that first pull up all sector indices, that is Nifty IT, Nifty Auto, Pharma, Bank, FMCG, PSU Bank, Private Sector Bank, Finance, EV, Consumer Durable, Consumption, all of them. Okay. So please wait for 1 to 2 seconds while switching screen. Okay, okay, okay. No worries. So whenever I'll share the sectoral list with you guys, that is basically this list we'll talk about. Okay. And we have to do what? Compare each sector against Nifty 500 using relative strength. And why am I talking each sector? Because with Nifty 500, because Nifty 50, if you see, is a very I think it has 40% of finance, 43% of finance, and then less consumer durables. That is basically what is not the best to analyze all the sectors. Okay, so I feel that Nifty 500 is the best to check the relative strength. Okay, and RS line, you have to use the relative strength line, that is basically RSI. You have to look at it, that is the sector performing? Is it good with Nifty 500? Is the RS line falling? If the sector is lagging, avoid that. Okay, shortlist only the top 4 to 5 leaders sectors in a week or do it every 15 days. ठीक है हर 15-20 दिनों में हर in every 15 days you should do it one time एक बारी में करो and then 4 to 5 leading sectors you should go with it. Okay, now we'll analyze real time, that this is the chart of Nifty India Defense, this chart of Auto, and this chart of FMCG. ठीक है अब we will see that India Defense, Auto, and FMCG. I'll just show this to you one by one. Look at it and then tell me that what is the strongest, what is looking. Okay. Okay. Defense, this is the defense. You can look at it. And then this auto, this is the auto index. And this is FMCG. Okay. So I'll just start a poll and I want that how many people are aware of this, that what is basically sectorial and what is the strong one. Okay. Okay. I think it is on your screen now. Do tell me that which is the strongest it was looking on the chart. Okay, so out of 100 people, 48% have marked auto, 50% have marked defense, and 3% have marked FMCG. I don't know what these three people are and what are they thinking, but if we go on the defense part, for those people exactly, I'll tell you that if the defense part, you look at the Nifty 500 comparison. Okay, so you can create that. This is the RSI line. Okay, you can look at it, that this is the uh, RSI line basically. Okay, this RSI line, if you look at it, that it is rising over here. Okay, and in the Nifty 500, from this part, from the bottom, it has which one, yellow, purple. Okay, so this has given me 15% returns in from this bottom stage. Okay, whatever it is from the April, it has given me 15% returns. But if we check it on the defense part, it has given me 32% returns in the same time. Okay, so 32%, absolute 32% returns, and Nifty 500 has given me 15%. So basically, 32% returns. Defense is in a momentum. Okay, defense is in a momentum. And when we see RSI, RSI is above 50. So that means that it is also respecting it. Okay, and the purple one I'm talking about, that is basically RSI. Same as auto. When we go to the auto, uh, just a second. Okay. When we go to the, this is basically a list. When you will click on this list, you'll have something open and you'll have some sectors opened. Okay. So these will be the sectoral list. So you'll get that on the Telegram. Everyone will get that on the Telegram. So make sure that you are in my Telegram. Okay. And then you'll go to the next slide. That is basically auto. Okay. In the auto, it has given me 25% returns, and defense has given me 32% returns. So you know what is strong, and we have tracked auto and defense in front of you. I was very bullish on both of these. Okay. And Nifty 500 again 15%. Now when we go to FMCG with comparison of Nifty 500. For the same duration, FMCG has given me 10% returns, while Nifty 500 has given me 15% returns. So will I trade a stock from a FMCG sector when I am already gaining, when already Nifty 500, I can just invest in Nifty 500 ETF. Will I go in the FMCG index? No. Yes. I will not go in the FMCG index and will focus on auto defense more. This is just a bonus class, so we'll talk about some sectors as well. Okay. That what is strong actually right now. Okay. So if I go to the PSU banks, I'll just tell you that PSU banks are having a strong breakout. So PSU banks are strong. What time we should check for daily? Okay. On the daily, because we trade for month or 1.5 months, one stock we hold for and try to gain most returns from that. So daily is the best. With the PSU bank, it has given me a strong breakout. Okay. And the stocks from PSU banks are already looking good. India Defense, on the weekly time frame, if we look at it, it has given a very strong breakout and it is respecting 10 EMAs if you look at it. Okay. And then given a strong breakout as well. If you look at auto, given a strong breakout from these levels, we have tracked this entire level in front of you guys and tracked most of the stocks from this, like Precall Auto, Bellrise Industries, okay, and a lot more, NRB Bearings. So from this, you can look at my YouTube videos as well. And auto has given us 15% returns in a short period of time. And IT, I'm very bullish on IT because it is taking a reversal as well. Okay. Now then consumer durables. Consumer durables. Why am I bullish on that? Because on the defense part, if you look at it, that it is on a very strong resistance and is trying to break out. And if we get a breakout of this, we can reach to the new highs and then have some stocks from it. Because the consumer durable stocks are already looking very good. And the last one is EV. If you look at it, it was already on its all-time highs, 6% returns in the last 5 days. When Nifty 500 just gives 3% returns, it is absolutely the best. Okay. So EV and auto, IT, Nifty consumer durable, PSU banks, defense, we analyze it deeply in the academy. But right now, I've given you a rough idea of what is looking good and a rough idea of how to check that for free as well. Okay. And now we'll talk about some indicator, which is the best overall. Okay. That is a special indicator. That is to compare the returns from Nifty 500 daily, we should check. Yes, we should check on the daily part. And now we'll have the special indicator in view. Okay. Now, okay. If we go on the sectoral analysis part using the special indicator, we see that trading view is powerful, but Okay, you can check through that thing, but it is very slow. Okay, you have to give, I think, 3 to 4 hours by comparing everything by using the stocks from it. So it is very difficult. A custom indicator is there that ranks every sector strength at a glance. Okay, instantly show it leader laggards, no manual dividing, color coded strength plus momentum, and turns 30 minutes of works into 30 seconds. Exactly. Okay. So this exact tool plus setup, guys, is inside the Momentum Masters Academy. But I'll give you a free alternative right now. With that, and that is a very good indicator. If you go to the next, we see a good breakout is about to come. But will you be able to confirm sector strength so you enter early? Yes. And how? I'll tell you. Okay. This is that indicator which I made personally using, I think, 3 or 4 months of work and coding. And then we see when you open that indicator, you just can open, for example, you go on any stock, okay, you open KTK Bank, you go through that indicator, you click on this, and you'll have a sector overview. Okay, for example, on Bharat Forge, I'll tell you that you are not able to have an idea that it will be a strong breakout or not. And when you see next, you open the indicator and you see that okay, the sector strength. This is the sector strength basically, and this is rising. Okay, so you don't have to look to the indicator at first. You can look all at all the stocks. For example, you have made a list of 30 stocks, and then you are looking if the sector is looking good. For example, this sector, it is basically taking pullbacks from 20 EMAs and then rising from 10 EMA right now. And when you open the indicator and sector chart, the top it is made of top 15 stocks. For example, in this Bharat Forge is from metal fabrication. ठीक है, ये मेटल फैब्रिकेशन में है. एंड देन दीज 15, ये जो टॉप 15 स्टॉक्स है मेटल फैब्रिकेशन के, उससे ये बना हुआ है. एंड सब कुछ सारा वेट इसे इक्वली दे रखा है. ठीक है. एंड व्हेन यू कंपेयर, ये डॉटेड लाइन है, ये है निफ्टी 500. ठीक है. दिस इज निफ्टी 500. एंड ये सेक्टर है. जो सेक्टर, अगर अगर सेक्टर फ्लोइंग ऊपर है तो स्टॉक भी ऊपर फ्लोइंग है. तो सेक्टर ऊपर जा रहा है, ये 20 EMA से बाउंस बैक ले रहा है एंड देन फ्लोइंग अपवर्ड्स. दैट मींस व्हाट विल हैपन टू भारत फोर्ज? अ ब्रेकआउट इज अबाउट टू कम. एक VCP पैटर्न बन रहा है जो हम बाद में डिस्कस करेंगे. एंड देन यू सी भारत फोर्ज कैसा है. ठीक है. भारत फोर्ज गेव अ ब्रेकआउट. ठीक है. भारत फोर्ज व्हाट हैपेंड? अ ब्रेकआउट हैपेंड एंड देन वी इन्फॉर्म दिस एग्जैक्टली इन द एकेडमी. ठीक है. This indicator is made by me, so this is only available in the academy, but there's a free alternative to just identify sector strength. That is this one, free alternative. That is what, for example, this is Nifty 100 chart. This is 10, 20, 50. This is 23, 55 EMAs. So you look at it. If you analyze this, आपको strongest दिख जाएंगे कि strongest indicators ये है. ठीक है. ये वाला I can show. For example, I go to this. ठीक है. I'll just apply this indicator. That is this one. This one. And when I'll go through this, I'll just change some settings. That is this. Okay. And when I'll go to any indicator forever. For example, I'll go to the defense one. I'll look at it and मैं ये 3 period को off कर दूंगा. बस blue and purple I'll look at it and you see that blue or purple is going above. This zero line is the Nifty 500. They are basically going above. And you'll have the list of strongest, you'll have the mixed, you'll have the weakest in front of you कि ये यार सारे strongest है. This is the mixed sectors. This is the weakest. So you'll have an idea for the next 1 week what you'll have to analyze. This is a very normal indicator. If I just tell you just to have an idea of the sectors for the next week, and that I'll give you the free for free. I'll give the link for this in the Telegram channel. But this indicator is only available in the academy. But I have just told you how to do sectoral analysis for free and this indicator as well. This apply indicator is sec Chartian sector relative strength, and this one is int basket indicator, but by it is just made by me and a lot of coding and owned by finance stock with them, and that is me only. Okay. So it has given more returns. And if now what you can do with it, I'll just simply tell you that how is it the best. For example, I have opened this and I have opened my watch list, that is this. Okay. Now I can go to all the stocks. Okay. And then whenever I will scroll, it will just pop up. Okay. That it is from hospital nursing management. Hospital nursing management has come up. and then I can see that hospital management sector has just given wonderful returns. And when I do this, this is basically set on equal weight by default. And whenever I go to market cap weight, what will do? It will be adjusted by the market cap. Okay, so the weightage will be given by that. For example, you see that it has started from 1 Jan, and now at 116, that means it has given 16% returns if we use the market cap weightage. But and the Nifty 500, it has given 99%. 99, that means it is 1% below. That means whatever it was on 1 Jan, it is 1% below, and hospital nursing management is 16% above. That means it is a strong one. And if you go on the equal weight chart, ठीक है, अगर ये इक्वल वेट चार्ट पे जाओगे तो यू सी इट इज अराउंड 132, दैट मींस 32% रिटर्न्स दिए हैं अगर आप इक्वल वेटेज दोगे सबको, एंड इट इज नॉट बायस्ड. फॉर एग्जांपल आप फाइनेंस में जाओगे तो एच डी एफ सी बैंक की 45 50% मार्केट कैप ले लेता है, एंड दैट इज व्हाट इज बायस्ड यू आर लुकिंग एट. ठीक है, ये अनबायस्ड है. तो equal weight पे trade करोगे तो you see that okay, hospital nursing management is performing very well. And out of this hospital management sector, we have had one stock which I'll just show you. जो हमने, हाँ, पार्क हॉर्स, वी हैव एनालाइज्ड पार्क हॉर्स विद इट, एंड 2 3 more स्टॉक्स हमने पार्क हॉर्स भी इससे निकाला था, एंड हमने यहाँ पे एंट्री ली थी, एंड वी आर अप क्वाइट 5 to 7% इन इट जस्ट नाउ. ठीक है, तो हम इससे एनालाइज करते हैं. एंड अपोलो हॉर्स भी वी हैव एनालाइज विद इट बट नॉट ट्रेडेड येट. तालब्रो ऑटो एंड बेलराइज मदरसन, फॉर एग्जांपल यू सी मदरसन, वी हैव एनालाइज्ड मदरसन, and I think I have given this in the deal as well. And do we need trading subscription for adding? You can, yes. I think you'll be needing a small investment of 900 rupees a month to add these indicators. And this is basically from auto sector. And now, if I go check the auto sector, okay, now I'm to the auto sector. You look at it, how I have it as risen. It has given wonderful returns in such a short period of time. That is basically what is the power of this indicator, and I think it is only available. That is what is only available to the academy members. Okay, so now we'll go to VCP. I have okay, auto sector. ऑटो सेक्टर का कलर तो कुछ नहीं है, मैं आपको बताऊंगा. ऑटो सेक्टर का कलर है ब्लैक. ब्लैक वन इज द ऑटो सेक्टर कलर. ये 10 20 50 ईएमएज है. ब्लैक वन इज द ऑटो सेक्टर. ठीक है, एंड ये दिस इज द निफ्टी 500. ओके, इट इज, आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम विद एनीवन गोइंग इफ I this is a free session and only for the people who want to learn, so not a problem with that. And okay, I'll try to talk in Hindi. I communicate in Hindi. Okay, no worries. And now, I'll give you the free alternative link for this as well. I'll give you the EMA support and resistance, सबके links दूंगा, नहीं PDF भी मिल जाएगी. तो before that, if anyone has any problem या कोई questions है तो they can raise before we jump to the BCP part. How do we analyze that? If anyone has any questions. Okay, RRG for sector, it is useful. A free website there is. I'll just show you the free website for that as well. That is, okay, that is this website. Okay. अर्निंग बल्स, नाउ यू कैन गो टू दिस वेबसाइट. मैं सबके लिंक्स ड्रॉप कर दूंगा, तो डोंट वरी एंड डोंट आस्क फॉर लिंक्स अभी. एंड यू कैन लुक एट इट दैट कौन से स्टॉक्स परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल आई शो यू आईटी इज मूविंग अपवर्ड्स टू द लीडर. ठीक है, एंड कंज्यूमर ड्यूरेबल ऊपर मूव कर रहा है, प्राइवेट बैंक ऊपर मूव कर रहा है, ऑटो ऊपर मूव कर रहा है, कंज्यूमर ड्यूरेबल्स ऊपर ऊपर मूव कर रहा है. सो यू नो कि हाउ टू आइडेंटिफाई व्हाट इज स्ट्रॉन्ग थ्रू आरआरबी. We have chosen stocks to create indicator based on the market cap count. Yes. Every stock I have used 2 to 3 thousand stocks. Uh, can do a class analysis using different indicators and views. Yes, I'll do classes, multiple classes. This is the first one. Baki, a lot of classes are already in the academy. This is the free one, so it has a lot of things I am putting over here as well, but this is basically a short class only. For RRG read कैसे करें? I've just told you how to read the RRG by opening that. If drop a yes, if we should go and understand this VCP pattern, I'll give you two very good examples, and then you'll be very much aware of that. Okay. Drop me 10 yeses and I'll just go to that. Yes. Explaining more in free classes are always the best. Market breadth once a week. Baki, if you are not in the paid class, but if you're on the paid class, I have a lot of lectures over there. All uploaded. 30 plus lectures on every thing is uploaded one by one, and I think 30 to 50 minutes of each class is there. Yes, sectoral analysis once a week is always fine. On Saturdays, you open that sector and you do that analysis. Let's go ahead. Okay, everyone, let's go ahead. Yes, yes, brother. We can look at paid class के बारे में we'll talk about that अभी नहीं ठीक है. We get a clear picture of sectors in trend with the free and you can trust that. मेरा indicator बस इसलिए था कि to have a very really quick view about the indicators. बाकी you can if you don't want to enroll in the academy आप हमेशा you can look at those indicators and judge basis on that. सिर्फ मेरा इंडिकेटर से लोग ट्रेड नहीं करते दे यूज दिस फ्री मेथड्स एज वेल एंड वो आप प्रैक्टिस कर सकते हो बट मेरा वाला क्या है फॉर एग्जांपल दैट 4 आवर का थिंग यू विल बी एबल टू डू इन जस्ट 2 to 3 minutes ठीक है सो नाउ लेट्स शिफ्ट टू व्हाट इज वीसीपी ओके हाउ मेनी पीपल नोज अबाउट वीसीपी ओवर हियर हाउ मेनी पीपल नोज अबाउट वीसीपी आई डू नो आइडिया आई नो हाउ मेनी पीपल फॉलो वीसीपी नो आइडिया ओके दिस इज गोना बी अ great thing for you okay I do little okay I do. So VCP, what is VCP? That is identified by Mark Minervini in the 1990s. Okay. That yes, read the book, then you clearly know what is VCP. So that is a footprint of a stock getting ready to move. Okay, it is not moved or it is not nothing done yet, but it is basically a footprint of stock getting ready to move. So Mark Minervini had basically 6 to 7 conditions on top of it, on top of everything. He had a lot of more conditions as well, but these were some conditions which are must. Okay, and I have an indicator for that too. Okay, so this that indicator I will that is also made by me. And if you look at it, you know all the ticks are done. That means you can trade this stock. You can put this in watch list. Okay, that doesn't mean that you should trade that, but that you can put in your watch list. For example, you see this is my watch list, and you will see all of being green. All are green. Okay, that means it is tradable, but it needs a little more consultation as a little more uh, pointers as well that we'll just discuss. And इसका link I will share, so don't worry. ठीक है? First of all, this he is basically Mark Minervini. First of all, it is basically must be in an existing uptrend stage two. So basically, अगर आपके पास ये सारे if this is your indicator, you have this indicator, and this is basically holistic. That means, हाँ, everything is in an existing uptrend. It is in a stage two. ठीक है? Get an idea of that. ठीक है? A series of tighter and tighter pullbacks. Basically, this is what VCP usually looks like. That is this. For example, you see that the pullbacks are getting tighter and tighter with being the same highs or being around the same highs. The first pullback was example 25%. The second pullback from the highs was example 15%. The third example was you can see 8%. And the last pullback was for example 3%. So you look at it, four contractions are done. This is the stocks are basically we treat as a spring. So for example, you see a spring like this, and it is compressed, and then when we leave it, it just performs like this. It just acts like this. So basically, that is exactly what is BCP is. We need to chase these things. We need to chase the stock over here, enter over here, and then enjoy the momentum of this one. Okay. So a series of tighter and tighter pullbacks is what Mark Minervinia suggested, and that is what we call uh, uh, BCP. And what is another condition that volume should dry up as it tightens. Volume should not be more on the downside. For example, this on the downside of this, the volume should be less, and on the upside, the volume should be more. On the downside, volume should be less, and on the upside, volume should be more. On the downside, again, the volume should be less, and on the upside, the volume should be more. Higher lows coiling into a pivot near resistance. ठीक है? For example, these are higher lows. This was a low, then this was a low, then this is a low, then this is a low. I have marked four lows in front of you. And what do we see? That the right one is higher than the left one. This one is higher than the left one. This one is higher than the left one. This one is higher than the left one. What is it indicating? Okay. What is it indicating? That it is contracting on the upside. Okay. I'll tell you once again. Okay. For example, this is a high. Okay, this high has been which in which time TF it usually forms on the 1 hourly, daily, and weekly. In every time frame it can form. It is just a pattern. Okay, it depends. Yes. So if this is a zone where it is starting from, it has reached to its low, reached to its up, reached to its low again, up again, reached to its low, up again, reached to its low, up again. So this is a base being formed, and this is on the higher side. And what is a for and you'll see that the breakout after this happens like this. But when you see the stock like this, usually this, a stock like this, what is it? Is there any contraction, or is there any volume being, or is there any higher lows formation? Do anyone see any tighter pullbacks or any higher low formation? Anyone? No, right? So this doesn't have any higher low formation, and this has higher low formation. That means it is acting as a spring. It is contracting. It seems to move sideways. Yes. This is a stock which is getting ready to move on the higher side, and which is telling us that, bro, invest in it. Okay. Breakout on a volume surge equals trigger. For example, this the volumes were very low, but over this level, the volumes started to be like this, a blue candle, a blue big volume. Okay. You enter on the low of that. Okay. Not an entry point exactly. And then you reach the momentum with a fixed stop loss. Okay, best time frame for BCP. There's no not time frame for BCP. I track 1 hour, daily or weekly. Okay, tighter and tighter, quieter and quieter, then it pops. That is our strategy on one line. Okay, next. This is pre-call limited. What what do we see over here? Do tell me that are is every condition fulfilled? Okay. First of all, what was our first condition? Must be in an existing uptrend. Okay. We will open pre-call limited and check out. Okay. Well, is it in a if we go on a weekly, this was it in an existing uptrend? Was it in an overall existing uptrend already? Yes, must be in an existing uptrend. That is true. Is the Minervini conditions being followed? That is the EMA conditions that I have made an indicator for, so I don't need to explain. Yes. So, and then is the condition which is of a series of tighter and tighter pullbacks are being made a 20% pullback, a 17% pullback, a 7% pullback. Yes, is it there? Yes. Then we look at it. Are there what I was volume dries up as it tightens? Okay, so were there no volumes except this day? This was an earning day, so we usually ignore that. Except this day, we see that there was no volumes. Were there any no volumes? And when there was a breakout happening, before the breakout, did any volume come? These two, a small amount of volumes came, yes. And we see that there was a good earning. That means it is a fundamentally a good stock. Okay. So, and what happened after that? You know what happened. Okay, and you can check my reels, you can check a lot of things. I explain this very beautifully, and this is what I explain. Okay, I have explained before, and good earnings, no volumes, contractions. Okay, so this was it, and it is basically telling us, and this is good turnover, good turnover on liquidity. What does this mean? That this at 80/20 means 55 crores of volume was in the last 4 to 5 days. In the last 20 days, there was an average of 55 crores. That means if it is 0 to 20 crores in 80/20. Okay, I'll explain you what is average turnover. That means how much the prices have kicked in, how much the amount have kicked in the. Uh, do you look at the minimum R volume during the entry? Yes, I look at the minimum R volume being in the first 15 minutes. It should be at least 20% whenever I am entering on. This is the rich road indicator. I'll share that. But on the entry part, I look at the R volume being minimum of 20% in the first 10 to 15 minutes on the breakout strategy only. Okay, this is the indicator of average turnover that. Please repeat again. Okay, this is the average turnover. That this means that for the last 20 days, 55 crores is the average turnover for this stock that is pre-call limited. Okay, and whenever it is above than 50 crores, that means it is a mid-liquid stock. It has liquidity. But whenever the stocks are like below 10 crores, 20 crores, for example, I'll tell you how can we see average turnover. This is an indicator. You can look at it. For example, I'll tell you PSP project. Okay, I'll just turn on the indicator. Mm, I'll show you very less stock. Okay. Okay. So Onida, you look at Onida, you go on the 5 minute time frame. Do you see that what are these things? We do the opening range breakout entry strategy. That is what is explained afterwards, not right now. Yeah. So you see that this is basically is illiquid. Yes. Yes, Paras and Modi, we call it illiquid. No volumes. Yes. You see 533 volumes. What is a 533 volume? It is nothing in the market. So we ignore these kind of stocks and we only trade stocks which are above at least 30 to 40 crores. Okay. So there is 55 crores or average 20 and good turnover. So that's why we traded this. And you know how much returns we got 20% returns in just 5 days. And that is absolutely insane. 20 means last average 20 days, 3 means last average 3 days, and LT means last turnover. Rich road turnover display, I'll share that. No worries. Okay. And this is the another one. You explain me that how is it looking? Okay. You explain me these things. And if you have watched my video on Cupid, you can look on YouTube. If you have watched my video on Cupid, I have done a 50-minute analysis on Cupid. So that is a very uh, useful video if you want to go. We see a good turnover, a massive good turnover on liquidity. How is the turnover on liquidity? You see how it is massive. On the average 20, it is 750 crores. Volumes are drying on downtrends. Okay. So if I just open the chart of Ether Energy, okay, I see that I'll just turn off some indicators. Okay. Do we see that the first pullback is 26%? The second one is 23%. The third one is 13%. And the fourth one is, if I just mark in front of you, it is 7.7%. Okay. And when we look at the breakout, the day breakout happened, we enter with our volume criteria that is explained in the academy, but we see and we have marked the stop loss. And you see the returns we have made that are 81% in amount of how much time from 10 April to right now, that is 7th August. In the time of 3 to 4 months, we have made 81% in one stock, and I was invested, I think 80% of my long-term portfolio in this. The right time to exit the stock and square off. This did not give me any area to square off. We see the exit strategy elsewhere. Okay, so you see this being very easy. Okay, so you are seeing that this is very easy and this is very easy to track, but it is not. Okay, no volumes and pullback contractions. you see good earnings, you see good turnover, and these are the four conditions only. I have 10 conditions in total, which I use to have a stock marked. That is why if you go on my position size calculator, I have marked it out of 10. Okay, and of the position size calculator, we'll talk about that. But we have learned, I think, about a small VCP concept, how you decide to add long term. We'll discuss, we'll may have a long term class as well, so don't worry. Okay. So have you understood about what is the concept of VCP pattern? What is basically is, and what are the usual things we see? Cell rules will you discuss today as well? Some cell rules I'll discuss. No worries. Yes. Give me 10, 20 yeses and then we'll go ahead. Okay. So I know that people are actually watching and interested. Okay. So the next thing, yes, please tell about how to use AT. I'll share the indicator with the PDF, what strategy for the long term fundamentals. Okay. Let's go on the next. For entry, do you look at 15-minute or 1 hour TF for the relative volume? 15 minute for the relative volume. Already knew about this, but your concept is really different. Yes, that is why. How to identify fake out volumes? No volumes, that's the fake out. Okay, so entry, stop, and the pivot. Oh, in short, I have made an entry. As breaks the pivot with volume. Okay, stop loss just below the last tight low. It should be greater than ATR. Okay, and strong swing low, just below, just the strong swing low. Okay, broke 20 EMA also in Ether. I'll just clear that on 20 June. Where on 20 June? Okay, over here. Because I was very convicted with it, and I think after a certain amount of returns, that was 34% returns, a small pullback usually come, and there was not a very strong candle, and the volumes, if you see, were not like very big on the lower side. If there was a this candle being on the downside and the volumes acted very big, then I would have exited. Pivot means a resistance or a support. We use opening range breakout with it. For example, the first 15 minutes. For example, if you go on Ether Energy on 9th April, okay, Ether Energy 9th April, that is over here. Okay, so on 9th April, basically, we look at it that uh, you see the volumes over here are very nice, and then this when this the opening the breakout of the opening range came, we entered exactly over at these levels. Okay, and then I enjoyed the whole momentum. So basically, entry criteria and everything is a long process. Maybe if you guys request, I'll have a new session with that. As I need to leave for some urgent work, please send this. Okay. These indicators एक इंडिकेटर क्लास भी कर लेंगे किसी दिन एक फ्री वाली तो अगर डीएम मी इफ यू वांट दैट ठीक है तो ओके पहले लेट्स डिस्कस अबाउट देन दिस गोना बी अ लॉन्ग वीडियो ठीक है तो एंट्री स्टॉप एंड द पिवट एंट्री क्या होती है एज प्राइस ब्रेक्स द पिवट विद वॉल्यूम ठीक है स्टॉप लॉस जस्ट बिलो द लास्ट टाइट लो एंड स्ट्रक्चर आई विल शेयर एवरी इंडिकेटर डोंट आस्क फॉर इंडिकेटर्स मैं सब शेयर कर दूँ ठीक है the pivot defines your risk before you ever buy if it breaks down you are out small no emotion that means कि अगर breakout होता है नीचे की तरफ तो अगर आपका stop loss hit होता है तो आप you exit small for example in Ether Energy if we look at it अगर मैं exit कर भी देता ठीक है if I would have exited I would have lost 6% 7% but मैंने बनाया कितना I made 81% and isn't that insane I have made I think almost 15 hour ठीक है अगर मैं यहाँ पे एग्जिट कर देता तो क्या होता आई हैव रिस्पेक्टेड द स्टॉप लॉस एंड देन कंटिन्यूड ओके एंड if you see the next slide, I have then entered with R volume criteria, this as my stop loss, then tailed it with key EMAs. And before that, I applied this exact strategy that was this one with more pointers that is basically explained more fundamental analysis. We have done a lot of analysis before choosing a stock because tell me that if you are investing something, if you're investing on hard earned capital, if I'm investing 50 lakhs in one stock, will I not or even if it is not 50 lakh, if you are investing 50,000, for example, 1 lakh is your capital and you're investing 50,000 in one capital, will you not do every analysis what you can do before investing that money? Yes, right. I have charting. Charting is not the indicator, it is the scanner. I'll give you the scanner as well for VCP, don't worry. Candles make weak. Candles make weak on daily time frame. We just watch. Please do an entry and exit using VCP session. Okay. I'll do a big VCP session, so don't worry. Okay. So I have explained some entry criteria and the selling rules are basically I just trail with 10, 20 EMA. Okay, with key EMAs. Whenever I think that okay, it needs a pullback, I watch the volumes on pullbacks. That are the volumes good? If the volumes are good on pullbacks, I exit. If the volumes are dry, I hold. Okay. And then I follow a reward criteria as well. For example, if I've achieved 3R to 4R, 3 is to risk, 3, for example, my risk was 6% and I have achieved 18 to 20% already. Then what do I do? That I go out with that 20% of 10% of my position size. Okay. I've explained that, Shubham, twice. Okay. So we have talked about this. Now let's go to risk and reward and let's analyze some risk and reward strategies. Is everyone clear with the BCP patterns and some strategies? If we made good returns in a long term short, should we book profit? No. In a long, there's not a long term one. मैंने इसको swing में भी डाला था, but long term one I at least hold for 3 to 4 years. I can't. Okay, I'll just see the view in the end, but not talking about the views right now. I don't want to give any recommendations. That we'll have a watch list. Yes, I'm going to share this PPT. How many people are enjoying and learning from this? You tell me, and then we'll go ahead. Okay. Whenever I take an entry on breakout and suddenly make weak, so what should I do? If they set a stop loss before your entry, if that stop loss is it, you can't do anything. You just have to go and analyze. Most of the people do what? That whenever they do their analysis and whenever they don't put the stop loss, and then what does happen? That their stop loss gets hit, the stocks go down, and then they blame the markets. Okay, the markets were weak, the markets were like that, and then they just blame the markets and to satisfy themselves. But what exactly happens that there was a mistake in every time when you are doing that. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. So, what happens that you just have a strict stop loss, a strict reward, and then you go through that. Okay. So, risk and reward, we are going to talk about. First of all, what do we have to do? That we have to define your R. Okay. You have to define your R. That means the rupee you risk per trade. For example, you are entering 50 rupees. Okay. You're entering 50 rupees and your stop loss, you have to first identify that how much are you ready to lose. Okay. So for example, you are investing 100 rupees in a stock that you have to be aware that how much are you ready to lose? Are you ready to lose 1%? Are you ready to lose 1.5%? Are you ready to lose 2%? Because whenever we invest with a big capital, that is 1 lakh or 2 lakh, we now know that how much are we ready to lose. I am ready to lose around 0.25 to 1.75% that we'll talk about in the position sizing. You don't need to be right always. You need to lose small. Okay, that means whenever you're losing 3 to 4%, 5%. And whenever you are winning, you have to big win 30, 40, 50%. I'm not here to make 13, 15% returns in a one stock. Okay, I can tell you 10 stocks like Cupid, MTAR Tech, Bliss GVS, Aether Energy. They have made my capital doubled. Okay, and the same strategy applied to all of them. If I honestly tell you, Bliss GVS, MTAR Tech, and Cupid, and CP Plus, I have shared everything to you, and you can watch my CP Plus video as well. Okay, so aim for setups offering at least 2 to 3 year reward to exit. For example, I have achieved 3 year reward, so I exit 10 to 20% of my position. Am I audible, everyone? Okay. Okay, so I exit some of my quantity just to make sure that okay, I have some profits. Okay, a tight stop keeps my risk small. Okay, a tight stop means that I have a strict stop loss. That okay, if it touches, I will accept that. I will accept that it is my mistake, and I will analyze what was my mistake. I will not do what that okay, it is on one, it was on 100, then it went to 95, and then it went to 95, and 94 was a stop loss. So you shift that stop loss from 94 to 90, expecting that it will go up. I can guarantee you that 90% of the time your stop loss will get hit even at 90, because you just ruined your psychology. You just ruined that 4% of yours. Okay. A stop loss hitting is not the market's mistake, it is your analysis mistake. We count it as your analysis mistake if you're taking 200 trades. If you're taking 200 trades and journaling 200 trades and you lost 100 out of that 200, write that what was your mistake in those 100. And I can guarantee you your win rate will improve. Okay. Liquidity sweep happens. That is why I tell that, for example, you are keeping the stop loss over here. Okay, this is the last swing low. So you'll not have to you don't have to put the stop loss at 740.15. You should put the stop loss at 739, 1 or 2 rupees below that. So you'll not be ever in that phase of liquidity sweeps. Okay. Okay, so at small losses plus bigger wins, math works even at 40%, 50% win rate. But actually, I'm not satisfied with 40 to 50% win rate. I just need 70 to 80% win rate for super performance. And what I call super performance is at least 70 to 80% returns a year. And I am already at 120% whenever the war was happening. And in the last week only, I was at 15, 20% and showed everything with you guys. Okay, and for the academy members, we do weekly sessions on Saturdays and Sundays, and they get everything. What is liquidity sweep? Liquidity sweep means, for example, I'll show you on Avalon. Okay, Avalon Technologies, a liquidity sweep happened with me. Okay, so for example, I entered over here. Okay, I entered over here, set my stop loss to day low, but it was a mistake setting to day low, and I learned from it. And my SL should be that this one 1224. And then I entered over here. Stop loss was this. You see this candle? What happened? The prices moved over here. There was a liquidity sweep, and the prices moved back up. This we call as a liquidity sweep. That means the move came and hit your stop loss, and and then they went back up. A lot of times it would have happened to you. You have entered and then stop loss hit and then move back up. That is the biggest mistake people do. Okay. And it is just, I think, I know you guys are learning for the first time, but this is nothing when it compares to those 30 lectures which is in the academy, and it has a lot of it inside the exact entry position, exact SL position, how to do sectoral analysis in very deep. It has a lot more over there. Position sizing, I have a position size calculator on my website. So if you just go to my website, go to this calculator, okay, MMA position size calculator, you look at it. For example, your total capital is 2 lakh, your entry price is this. You set up the stop loss price according to you, whatever the stop loss should be, and you set up the 10 EMA value. You set up the market conviction. For example, you are saying that the market is 6 on 10 good right now. The sector is 9 on 10 good, and the setup conviction is just 6 on 10. So it will just tell you the allocation of capital, how much you have to do, how much shares you have to purchase. This is the position size. It is available on my website. And for the explanation of this and everything, I have guided this in the academy itself, and an Excel sheet I have given to everyone. So it is very useful for them. Okay. A risk of fixed small of a capital percent per trade. You'll have everything over here that how much risk, for example, 1.22% risk. Shares to buy, you'll have shares to buy, how much shares to buy. Higher conviction equals more, slightly higher risk. For example, my setup conviction is higher. Okay, so I'll just tell you, for example, setup conviction is mine 6 on 10. I have done using MTF. No, I don't do MTF. For example, my setup conviction is 6 on 10, and so it is 26.5%. If I increase that to 7 on 10, it is now 28%. First of all, I had to buy 778 shares. Now I'm 6 on 10, I have to buy 737 shares. So that is the difference. Is this calculator available? This is free. No, I don't give trade calls. We do pure analysis on Saturdays and Sundays with everyone in it. Every academy member is there with all the doubt sessions. Okay. So Setup conviction, you can look at it and you can look at everything over here. This is free if you could just go on the website and just press on this. Weighted conviction, it is explained in the academy, but I'll just tell you weighted means that setup conviction, for what is your conviction? It is 7 out of 10, it is 8 of 10. Yes, I'll share the video. So this is basically a setup conviction. Okay, and position size, cap any single trade. I take max 40% or 50% on my capital on one single trade, not more than 50% of my capital on one trade. Okay, I never bet the whole account. One trade should never be able to hurt you badly. For example, if you're investing 70% of your total capital, that is 7 lakhs of 10 lakhs in one stock, and then you are 6% down in it, so you'll lose 30 to 40,000, and it will just ruin your psychology, and you will just be like that, okay, you were bad and you don't know how to trade. So that is why I cap it at max 40 to 50%. I sometimes go with 100% whenever I'm very convicted, and with a small stop loss, that is 1 to 2% stop loss, not more than that. Okay. So that is basically it about position sizing. Is everyone good with risk and reward and position sizing? A slight concept. Have you understood more about it? Do tell me. How was it? This is the last one which we are going through. And if you want a bumper thing in the end, wait wait with me. Okay. And if you want a very good reward in the end, a little fast paced. I had to keep a little fast because I'm keeping it a very small session of a day, 1.5 to 2 hour session. If you want more sessions like this, I can absolutely keep that. Yes, I will post this recording in the YouTube channel only. Don't worry. Okay, trading psychology. Let's learn about psychology. This is the most important thing. If your psychology is bad, I don't think you'll be able to have a good trading. Okay, YouTube channel link. I'll just share that. I will conduct sessions like this once a month or two, because I think it will be unfair for academy people as well. I have a lot of things there. For example, these only told you 5 concepts. There are 30 concepts with 30 lectures in it. I think a lot of things are uploaded over there with every weekly session, so people learn a lot. So trading psychology, let's learn about that. Can have the perfect system and still lose if your mind isn't right. Okay. Patience, you'll have to first have control with patience. You should have to wait for your trades and don't force your trade. For example, I don't recommend any stock with entry and stop loss. We just do the watch list. We just make the watch list and see that where can we enter, where could not we enter, and just do the past analysis. I want people to learn and not recommend. Why? Because you can be with me for 1 year, 2 year, you can make good returns, but you can never be with me for 20 years. Okay. That is the main thing I teach people. Patience, wait for your setup, don't force trades. Okay, no FOMO. A missed trade is cheaper than a bad one. Okay, for example, you are up. I traded on 100, and then you figure out that I traded on 100, and it is at 105, and you are trading on now 105. That is out of FOMO. You are trading. You don't know any analysis, so you have to do full analysis before the trading. You should have to follow a plan with your entry stop size before you click that buy button. Okay, you have to journal every trade. That means you have to do the entry, stop loss, have to have a chart. Indicators lifetime रहेंगे. Indicators, everything will be lifetime. Don't worry. तो for example, you have to journal. मेरी जर्नल कैसे रहती है, I'll tell you. For example, आपने एक चार्ट ट्रेड करा, and then you take a screenshot of this, put that on Canva. You journal it. That means you to put entry, stop loss, why did you trade it. You'll have to put everything with it. Okay. And then when you do this over the years, for example, you do this over the months for 7 8 months consistently, and for example in 8 months you have took around about 50 trades, 50 to 60 trades. You will have that idea of that 50 60 trades, and it will be very helpful for you. Okay, for that 50 60 trades, you'll have a journal, and if you have lost from 30 of it, you'll have a very strict rule that okay, now from these 30 trades, you have learned that you don't have to do this, and then you'll have a very good plan that okay, this let me lose back on 30, and now I will not lose. Okay. Yes, I catch big moves, not 20-30% is not enough for me. Uh, I'll personally tell you, as a full-time trader, I do the analysis every day. But for the people and the part-time, the people who trade with me on Saturdays and Sundays, who do analysis with me, they just need to give 2 hours on Saturday or 2 hours on Sunday for full analysis. We just conduct sessions on 12 from 12 to 2 on Saturday and from 12 to 2 on Sunday, and the recording is just posted after it on the academy, and then they figure out that okay, the watch list, how I have made the watch list every week. I never trade large caps. I only trade mid caps and small caps. Okay. The system is 20%. If you have a discipline and executing with it, it is 80%. Okay. So recap to everything what you learned today. Okay. You learn how to identify market and breadth. You learn how to do the sectoral analysis. You learn what is VCP and what is stage two look like. Okay, with that indicator. You have learned what is risk. You have learned how to position size, and you have learned some psychology. So is everyone happy with what they have learned today? Yes, I share that. I usually share that every week. On Sundays, I share that. Okay. सेल रूल्स पे थोड़ा सा ज्ञान। देखो, सेल रूल्स का कंसेप्ट क्या होता है? फॉर एग्जांपल, कोई स्टॉक बताता हूँ जिसमें मैंने रिसेंटली एक पोजीशन सेल आउट करी हो, ठीक है? अ, ठीक है, गरबारे हाईटेक। ठीक है, मैंने इसमें पोजीशन सेल कर दी अपनी। आई टेल यू क्यों। अब इसमें देखो, आई हैव एंटर्ड ओवर एट दीज लेवल्स। ठीक है, मैंने यहाँ पे एंटर करा था इसमें, ओवर एट दीज लेवल्स। ठीक है, नाउ आई आई वाज ऑलरेडी अप, हाउ मच इन इट? I was already up 38% में, ठीक है? 38% in a quite less time, and if you do the analysis, इसका base अच्छा नहीं था, तो I was having less position sizes in it. But now if you look at it, do you look at the earnings? Do you look at the fall of it with very good volumes? Do you look at the fall with very good volumes? ठीक है, इसका fall इतनी ज्यादा volumes के साथ आया है, so this is not healthy, and I think ये नीचे जाएगा। ठीक है, what is very good volume mean? That means अगर आप इस इंडिकेटर को यूज करोगे तो एक हाईलाइट ही हो जाती है। ठीक है, टू डिसाइड बेसिस वन डे फॉल, नो, आई डो नेवर डिसाइड, बट इन चीजों में आई हैव टू डिसाइड बेसिस ऑन वन डे फॉल। बट यूजुअली आई सी दैट इज इट क्लोजिंग बिलो 20 MA एंड ड्राइंग अप। अगर उसको ड्राइंग चाहिए, क्यूपिड विल क्रैश और नॉट फ्यूचर। क्यूपिड तो क्रैश करेगा, वन डे इट विल क्रैश, इट हैज टू क्रैश, दीज रिटर्न्स आर नॉट। आई हैव ऑल्सो एंटर्ड ओवर हियर, also entered over these levels, but I think it has to crash, yaar. It has to crash one day. Oh, I know the EBITDA is 3x. EBITDA is 3x. The net profit has been very powerful. Everything is very good, but this doesn't justify these kind of returns. Okay. EBITDA means earning before interest and tax, depreciation, amortization. How to draw accurate support and resistances? I'll just guide with you. Okay. For example, this was a strong rally. So you just mark the pivot points on the wicks. Okay. AI bubble. We'll talk about that in the next sessions. I'll take 3 sessions more. Can you summarize market by recordings? देख लेना। अरे भाई, सेल ऑन गरवारे टेक पे वापस आ जाओ, आ जाता हूँ। ठीक है, यहाँ पे तो मैंने आई हैव सोल्ड एवरीथिंग एट दीज पॉइंट्स बिकॉज देयर वाज मच लार्जर वॉल्यूम्स। बट आई यूजुअली सेल कि जब एक मोमेंटम फेड होना होता है, फॉर एग्जांपल 20 MA के नीचे, व्हेन इट बेसिकली गोज बिलो 20 MA, अगर वो 20 MA को रिस्पेक्ट कर रहा था एंड 20 MA से नीचे चले जाता है, तो आई बेसिकली सेल। ब्लिस जीवीएस का एनालिसिस, यस, ब्लिस जीवीएस का देता हूँ, कैसे मैंने सारी पोजीशंस ब्लिस जीवीएस से सेल आउट कर दी थी। ठीक है, एंटर्ड ओवर हियर। ठीक है, वीसीपी पैटर्न था भाई, बहुत अच्छा है इसमें। This is a very good example for a VCP pattern. This was a 16-year breakout, gave me 100% returns. Yeah, I am entered over here at 237 and some over here at 198. Okay, sold some here. ठीक है, एक बहुत अच्छी रैली आई थी, तो आई थॉट दैट नीचे जाएगा, बट इट डिडंट सोल्ड, थोड़ा इधर और। ठीक है, ऑन द वीकली नहीं, वीकली एक पोजिशनल ट्रेडर के लिए होता है, आई वांट क्विक मूव्स। ठीक है, आरपी टेक का तो मैंने एनालिसिस आई पोस्टेड ऑन यूट्यूब, यू कैन चेक एट इट। ठीक है, यहाँ पे देन आई एंटर्ड मोर, but it was my fault to enter more over here. Then I sold everything. Then what happened when 10 went below 20 over here? 10 ने 20 को नीचे से साइड कर दिया, तो आई already exited सारा इधर because I wanted to invest somewhere else. And when 10 and 20 went into a slope downwards and 10 crossed 20 on the lower side, I did exit. How do you find stocks? I find it from the scanners. I have various scanners. ठीक है, I can't expose those scanners, ठीक है, बट आई हैव वेरियस स्कैनर, वो अकेडमी एक्सक्लूसिव है। ठीक है, तो ठीक है, व्हाट वी लर्न टुडे, एक फुल फ्रेमवर्क मैप क्या होता है कि एक मार्केट, सेक्टर, स्टेज टू, वीसीपी देखते हैं हम, रिस्क देखते हैं, साइकोलॉजी देखते हैं। तो हम लोग कैसे फाइंड करें? मैंने 3 स्कैनर फ्री में डाल रखे हैं ऑन माय टेलीग्राम में, बट आज वापस डाल दूंगा। आई विल सेंड ऑल द इंडिकेटर्स, ऑल द स्कैनर्स, एवरीथिंग, सब कुछ डाल दूंगा। हाँ, बीसीपी स्कैनर भी आई अपलोड। ठीक है, so what do we do? Sector, stage 2, BCP, risk, psychology. These should be our main focus before analyzing any stock. जैकपॉट मिलेगा, अभी मिलेगा। तो एंड आपने बस एक हाज हाफ देखा। ठीक है, द फुल हाउ, एग्जैक्ट रूल्स, द अदर 4 चेकलिस्ट पॉइंट्स, द इंडिकेटर, द पोजीशन साइज टूल। ठीक है, वो सारी चीजें आपने नहीं देखी है जो एग्जैक्ट एकेडमी में है। ठीक है, plus weekly watch list, live sessions, and guidance to actually execute these things. Because I know this must be overwhelming for you, but you have to learn this in deep. Okay? Knowing the concept is step one, executing it weekly is where results come from.